out in the garden today. Yesterday was the first day of spring, and it's literally been raining cats and dogs all week. And so this weekend we are finally getting a little break. They called it an atmospheric river, and if you know anything about an atmospheric river, it has been just torrential pouring of rain, like most of the day, several days straight. We've been on like river flood watches in the area, and yeah, it's just been a lot. So it's like very nice to be outside without all my rain gear and my rain boots and an umbrella. But today I've got a lot of exciting things that I'm doing. There's a little bit of cleanup. We actually got snow in the first week of March, and it was just so unexpected. I wasn't expecting as much as we got. We got several inches. And so my poor little daffodils and the hellebores that were like very perky because we have had such a mild winter are kind of floppy, as you could see in the B-roll that I just shot for you for the beginning of this video. But there's a lot of exciting things happening also. I got my lettuce planted out from inside, and then my spinach that I direct sowed is actually sprouting. And I'm not going to do anything with that today. I'm going to wait till it gets a little bit bigger before I thin. But I'm very pleased. The germination on it has been really good. I did see a little bit of germination for my chamomile that I planted, but no parsley yet, which is okay. And then I brought out some other spring vegetables that they're very leggy. I think some of it might have to go in the compost. Oop, my tea's ready. Some might have to go in the compost, but some of it I'm just going to start hardening it off because now we're well and truly into spring. So I have that out on the patio. Today I am starting a lot of my summer vegetables and also sweet peas, which I didn't get to because it was snowing last week. And actually, yeah, because it was snowing, I didn't get to my sweet peas, so I'm starting some of those today. I haven't decided, so I have on my plan to start beets, carrots, and radish. And I had a really good radish year last year. I had a pretty good carrot year as well. Never had much success with beets, and I'm okay with that. I don't love beets. But this year, I kind of want to just save some room, give the garden a little bit of space, and maybe do some more greens instead of root veg. So I might do one round of radishes because they're so easy. But I think I'm just gonna save the carrots and the beets for next year. But I'm starting tomatoes today, peppers, and I can't remember what else is on the plan. There's a few other things. And I also, excitingly, purchased a mini greenhouse for the patio. It's just like one with a little shelf inside, and you zip it up at night. I think the mini greenhouse is going to be really beneficial for the hardening off process. And then I'm also, if I feel like some of this stuff is too leggy, I might start some more of that. I think the fennel is looking pretty bad. The kohlrabi and the broccoli, it's just very leggy. And I've been gardening for a really long time, but I feel like I'm very novice. And I just do a lot of trial and error. But seed starting is something that I'm really trying to get a grasp on, and I think the mini greenhouse for the patio is going to really help, especially for spring vegetables and for hardening off processes when it's a little cold outside still. But yeah, so I might restart some of these spring vegetables I think that are a little leggy, and then I can just get them started inside, but then bring them outside and start hardening them off right away. And then I think the natural light, because the room that they're in, I have grow lights, but it's just very dark, and I don't think it's an ideal spot to be starting vegetables. I did it last year and it worked, but I don't know. I'm just trying to figure things out. So yeah, I have vegetables to start. We're gonna build the mini greenhouse. I'm probably gonna film a little bit of that and just see how the day goes. But I just thought I'd bring you along today for some time in the garden. And yeah, let's get started. so we've got it all set up. Just needed Jake to help me because it's pretty tall to get the cover on, but I love it. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be really useful. And then we were just talking, because I don't think these seams are going to last forever, so I definitely want to make room in our shed for this so I can just wheel it in at the end of the season, and then it'll be nice because we can actually use it for a little bit of storage as well, maybe. But let me show you the shed right now. It's gonna be a little intense. So this is what we're working with. We've got our lawnmower in here, and we've got a bunch of tools hanging there. And actually, probably until fall or something, I can put it back here because this really doesn't get any sun. So it'll be a good spot because these tomato cages will be out in the garden. And so there'll be space back here. And then I'm thinking in the fall, I need to clean this out, get all this stuff off the floor, and then there'll still be room for the tools to hang. But we'll just have enough space for the greenhouse to slot in, and then we can just keep the door open and use it to store some stuff. I've got these. I bought these at a garage sale last year, and these are going to be pepper plants. And then this was a pepper plant last year. I need to pull these out because I think they're ready to be filled. I've got a bunch of terracotta little saucers here. And I need some of these for like indoor plants, but also I used one to grow microgreens, which was perfect because it holds, I mean, it's like the perfect amount of soil for microgreens. But yeah, so it's very chaotic right now. We've got a weed whacker. Actually, we have two. We have a gas-powered one and then an electric one. We've got a hedge trimmer, which I'm going to need to use this year on my boxwoods. Just a bunch of shovels. A lot of this we got from my dad. We just, you know, I just think tools are, especially garden tools, are just super useful. So but yeah, this is pretty full in here, but this will all be cleaned out this summer. I'll definitely bring you along for that, and then we'll have room for our new patio greenhouse, which is going to be very useful for hardening off seedlings this year, especially if it's a windy day. I think I'm just going to put it here next to the house. I'm going to move these chairs. And I think we're probably going to be power washing the patio this year because it really needs it. But yeah, I'm so excited for this. It's just so nice, and I love how tall it is up here. So when I'm hardening off tomatoes, there'll be plenty of space for them up there. So as you can see, I didn't sort my seeds today. I am going to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be a beautiful day. This afternoon has actually turned out very beautiful, but I was helping my husband spread some compost mulch on some of our front landscaping beds, and it's just looking so beautiful out there. He actually bought it on accident, so we aren't able to like cover everything, but the parts that we are able to cover looked really great. He's actually meant to buy something that he could spread on the lawn because we have a lot of moss in our grass, and he's been trying to kill it, and we have a lot of like dead spots in our grass, so he's trying to get that reseeded. And the compost mulch was just a little too chunky with pieces of wood and everything, but it looks great in our front landscaping. Tomorrow I will be out in the backyard doing my seed starting. I'm loving the mini greenhouse for the patio. I've got some starts out there right now. They've been out there all day. They're more protected than if I just leave them on the table. I will bring them in tonight, but then I'll bring them out again tomorrow to hopefully get that process like jump started. I've got some green onions out there, kale, Swiss chard, straw flower. The straw flower, I have to thin. I should have thinned it a while ago. And our estimated last frost date is not till the 29th, which is like next weekend. So I don't know if I don't think I want to like risk putting those out because I'm really excited to see if they grow. Unfortunately, the verbena that I tried, I was not able to germinate. So I don't know if I had something over it to like block the light and everything. I'm thinking maybe I'll try it again, but put it in my pantry or put it in one of our kitchen cabinets that we don't open very much to see if I can get those to germinate. But yeah, I will continue this vlog tomorrow, but right now I'm just in the kitchen getting everything cleaned up. But I think I'm gonna stop filming today because I'm exhausted and I just want to hang out with my husband and help him with whatever else he needs, but hopefully get our kitchen cleaned up and finish laundry. But I will see you again. It'll be a few seconds for you, but it'll be tomorrow for me. Hi friends, it's the next day, and as you can see, it's gloriously sunny. I am out on the patio and I am about to get my seed starting underway. I'm actually a few weeks behind. So I'm starting more than just tomatoes and peppers today. I'm also gonna try and start some more fennel, broccoli, and kohlrabi today. I think because I've got like my pumpkin patch back here in the yard, I think this year this bed here on the side, I think I'm gonna make this my brassica bed and see how it does. It doesn't do great for like, I tried a gourd back there last year. It just needs a lot of babysitting. So that's my plan, to make this my brassica bed, and I'm gonna do fennel again in here and something else. And then what else? We're starting sweet peas today. I am going to do a round of radishes. We're starting tomatoes, peppers, bee balm, basil, dill, borage, and cilantro. The dill, borage, cilantro, and the bee balm we're starting outside, and then obviously the tomatoes, peppers, basil, sweet peas we're going to be starting indoors. And then the fennel and the broccoli and the kohlrabi, I'm going to start indoors, but then once they sprout, I'm going to bring them out and put them in my greenhouse. And hopefully that will stop them from getting so leggy and not usable. So I've got a lot to do, and I'm just gonna sit out here and listen to my audiobook and enjoy this beautiful weather. I am starting my sweet peas in toilet paper rolls like I do every year. And it's because sweet peas have long tap roots that don't like to be disturbed, and this gives them a lot of extra space to grow. And then you can just plant this in the ground. And I like to stand them up in, like, this is an old tomato package from the grocery store. And this year I didn't save as many of these as I usually do, so I might have to use some of these, which will be fine. It'll be an experiment. But I've had great success with toilet paper rolls. So we'll see how it goes. Here are the varieties of sweet peas we're planting this year. Fragrant sweet pea raspberry twirl, April in Paris, this variety, which looks beautiful. And then these are the ones that I planted last year, and I have a few seeds left, so I'm gonna use them. They're just beautiful Sweet Dreams mixed colors. I've also decided that these plant tags are just too big. They like stick way up. I might go through and like trim them to make them shorter. So instead I'm going to just switch to my tried and true popsicle sticks, because I think I said this a few videos ago, I want to stop using plastic tags just because I'm still finding pieces of them in my garden, and at least pieces of wood like this will break down over time and add to the soil. So I have 4 different kinds, and then I do have a few seeds that I saved last year. So I'll probably use some of that. What are these? So I have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I could do 4 of each of these, which I think I might do. And the nice thing about these is I can actually write the variety on the side. So I always forget this every year. I need to write a note in my journal to soak sweet peas before planting. But this packet said you can nick the seed coat before sowing, which is what I did for these. So we'll see how that works. But so I'm going to do these, but I'll probably eventually, because I have a whole trellis over there, direct sow as well. So I'll probably soak before, I will definitely soak before I direct sow. And next week is our average last frost date. There's no freezing temperatures coming up within the next week, and so probably the next sunny weekend I'll definitely get in and sow some stuff direct in the bed, or sow sweet peas direct in the bed as well. Here are the varieties of tomatoes we are growing this year. My favorite always, Sun Gold, Oxheart. These ones did so great last year, so we're doing them again. Costoluto Genovese and Green Zebra. And then here are the varieties of peppers that we are going to grow. Shishito, Sweet Banana, always a favorite, Anaheim Chili, Early Flame Jalapenos, Serrano, these really fun Purple Beauty Purple Beauty bell peppers. And then here is the varieties of basil. Italian Genovese, Purple Petra, it's so beautiful, lettuce leaf, and lemon basil. So because I tend to go a little crazy with tomatoes and pepper plants, my goal this year is to be very ruthless in thinning. And so my goal is to have 2 of each plant. And so I'm just going to do 2 cells of each variety and then thin. So 2 of each plant. That could be a risk, and I might have like 1 extra of each as well. But last year I think I had, I think I had like 10 plants. So this year the goal is 8 plants. So we'll see. I might change that next year and just go crazy again. I really want to build an extra bed along our retention wall back here, and I think that would be a perfect spot for tomatoes next to the wall, so we'll see. So last year I started my tomatoes in just the large pots, just so I could avoid up potting, but this year I am going to use these, and up potting should be easy because these will just slot out once I thin, and then they'll be easy to pot up. Okay. So I'm going to do 2 in each. And then hope for the best. Worst case scenario, we'll end up with 12 tomato plants instead of... Ox Hearts are such a great slicing tomato. And I think last year I did Italian Roma and San Marzano in an effort to like have storage tomatoes. And while I had like every intention of canning tomatoes and everything, but I just honestly never got around to it. So this year I think I just want to go for slicing tomatoes, especially because we love to eat tomatoes fresh. And then Ox Hearts actually freeze beautifully, and they are perfect for tomato soup, which really is what I want in the winter months. In fact, I still have a ton of frozen tomatoes that I'll definitely get through this season because I need to make room just in case. In fact, maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I'll make some tomato soup tonight for dinner. I also have lots of my dried basil from last year, but I also have lots of frozen. And I really loved preserving herbs last year, so my plan is to do a lot more of that. I have where is it? I'm doing 4 cells of each type of basil, and then I will split them and pot them up in different pots because I want as much basil as I can. And I'm really excited to try the lemon basil this year. I think it'll be delicious in my tomato salad. This is always my favorite day when I get my tomatoes and peppers started. Tomatoes especially are my favorite thing to grow during the summer. Probably in line with pumpkins. I really love to plant pumpkins and squash. And peppers, I'm really trying to get better at growing peppers. And this year, my plan, I think I've shared this in a previous video, is to just do peppers in pots, because that seems to be the only way that I can get success with peppers. So here's hoping. And even if I never had success with peppers, even if I get a few, I still am just in awe that I'm able to what I'm able to grow. And they'll definitely be in every garden that I have every year. Okay. The depth for tomatoes is 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just sprinkling a little bit on top. And then I have my sweet peas over here on the ground. I'm just going to water everything at the same time when I'm done. Okay. Tomatoes are officially started. So I'm trying these early flame jalapenos mostly because they show them in containers. And I'm just super excited to see. I haven't really ever had super great success with jalapenos. In fact, I think the only pepper that I've had great success with in this garden, it has been sweet banana, which is why I always grow it. Oh, there's really not that many seeds in this. And so That's why I always grow sweet bananas, because I know I can actually get a yield. But I'm really excited for this purple bell pepper. I think that'll be super cool if they turn out. Last year I got several bell peppers, which I was pleased about. They were just your basic green bell pepper, but still I was super excited about it. So if I can have that same success with purple, I will be so psyched. I added a sweatshirt for a hoodie. But I loved being able to be out here without like a super big coat on and just this puffy vest. Okay, sweet banana and shishito. Perfect. These banana peppers, the seeds are from 2023, so hopefully they'll germinate for me. I have been going through and throwing away the seeds that are like older than 2023, which is tragic. I need to definitely rein in my seed buying, because that happens a lot. I buy seeds and I just don't have the space, like the growing space, especially with how much pumpkins and squash I want to grow this year. I'm just not going to have a lot of space, so seeds, get old when you don't use them, and they are less effective germination. I think one year, if I can convince my husband to let me build another gardening area, like a raised bed over by the retention wall, I might just do like a whole bunch of like old seeds and see what I can get to germinate. And I need to just make sure that I'm starting to replacing the varieties that I love, which is why this year I'm putting a huge emphasis on writing down what varieties I'm growing so I can make notes later in the season. Alright, one more to go. So I've decided to also I was going to start bee balm outside, but it says you should start it outside 2 to 4 weeks before your average frost date. But they recommend to start it inside before 8 to 10 weeks before. And obviously I'm like way late for these, but I really want to try them. So I'm going to try and start them inside and see if I can just help them along a little further. It does say it takes 14 to 21 days to emerge. Seed depth is very small, 1/16 of an inch. We'll see. This might be a dud this year, but hopefully next year I think I'm going to have to definitely start starting seed planting in February, because there's lots of seeds, like especially flowers, that require a long time for germination. But then I'm also starting some Cracker Jack marigolds today, because why not? If you're starting, marigolds are great companion plants, and I'll definitely will be starting more later. I'll probably start some the day that I start all of my pumpkins and squash, which is in a few weeks. I like to wait because pumpkins and squash, they don't take long to germinate, but they really don't like to be disturbed. So I like to start them later and then get them right in the ground, like the same day that I get my tomatoes and peppers planted out. And I find that they are more successful that way. And this year, last year it's kind of a write-off for me because I had great success with pumpkins last year, but a lot of them got very leggy because I had planted them and then my grandpa and my dad died, and I did not, I wasn't really paying attention to what my seedlings were doing. I was in the throes of grief and worrying about planning a memorial service and all that. So this year, hopefully, I will have greater success, and because I really want to grow my own. I really want to grow my own jack-o'-lanterns to carve, because we always have a pumpkin carving party every year, and I would just love to carve my own pumpkins, or my own pumpkin this year from something that I've grown. So yeah, this year God willing, I'll have more time to pay attention and nurture them the way that they need before they go outside. And I don't know if I've gone over with you guys the varieties that I'm starting, but there's a lot of really cool ones. I do have a blog post of everything that I'm growing in my 2026 garden, and I'll link that below in the description box. You can go check out the varieties. I'll definitely bring you along for that day when I get those started. Lots of new varieties, but definitely still keeping with my tried and true Jack B. Little. And I had a really great time with the Black Cat pumpkins last year, and also the little Casperita pumpkins, the little white ones. So definitely those 3 are going to be going in. But then there's a bunch of other fun varieties. And honestly, I don't know at this point if I'm going to have room for them all. So we'll see. Definitely, could definitely use one more bed. But I really like my little area that I plant pumpkins. It's got, it's along that retention wall. You guys have seen it. And it's got daylilies coming up right now. There's an iris. I have an allium in there. And then we get a bunch of these beautiful red lilies that you've probably seen in past videos. But it's just the perfect spot for pumpkins. And there is one part that I think is troublesome because it gets a little shaded from this plant. So I'm going to try and shift everything so that most of it is in the sun, because that part of the yard gets the most sun. Not including over in one of my raised beds. So it's just going to be a year full of fun growing new varieties, old varieties, and seeing what I can get. Alright, peppers are done. So I'm going to set them over here, and then we'll get the bee balm, marigolds, and the basil planted. Alright, so we have all of our seedlings watered. I'm going to bring these inside and put them on heat mats, and I will give them another water when they're inside, underneath water. These will probably I'll just water with on top. Of course, there is holes on the bottom of these, so I think I could probably just do the underwater. I wish I had more more of these in there to fill it up, but that's okay. Then over here we've got, let me just, then in the little greenhouse, I've had hardening off. I've got spring onions that I gave a trim to yesterday. This is kale. These are Swiss chard. They look a little leggy, so I might try starting some Swiss chard direct sown. And then these are straw flowers, and they look like they've really enjoyed being in this environment. And I'm hoping that when I just pop out the little plug, I'll be able to separate them so we can have a ton of straw flowers. But this thing has been so useful, and I've only had it set up for a day. But when the fennel and the broccoli and the kohlrabi sprout upstairs, I will definitely bring them right down so they can just grow in this environment instead of upstairs inside, and hopefully that'll prevent the legginess like I was saying. And now what we're going to do is we're going to direct sow the things that I have planned. Cilantro, borage, arugula, dill, and radish. And so far in these beds I've got a bunch of lettuce planted. There's spinach here. And then there was a lot of lettuce here, but it looks like slugs got to it. Or some other pest that I'm not sure of. So the radish will probably go here. And then possibly borage. But I do have chamomile sprouting over here as well. So I'm feeling like maybe borage in between the lettuces might be cool, or maybe not. I don't know how fast it will take off. And then I think dill and cilantro probably along the edge here, or the back edge of this bed over here, but we'll see. Let me show you the varieties that we're planting today. So we're going to plant wild rocket or arugula, and I did this a few years ago in a planter, but I think it'll do great in a raised bed. Just your average coriander or cilantro. Here's the borage, dill, and then I've got three types of radish. We've got Crimson Giant, which did so well for me last year. And then I guess I have this Easter egg blend. And then I also have an Easter egg blend from Botanical Interests as well. So that's what's going in today. So I usually do radish lengthways, but I have spinach here this year. I think I am going to do maybe 3 rows this way. And the key to good radishes is either planting them sparsely or making sure that you thin them when they're just like an inch tall. Last year I had a really good radish year. And hopefully I'll get that again. These Crimson Giants they're really tasty, super peppery, which I love. And I actually, obviously, and this goes with a lot of, vegetables that you grow on your own, the flavor is better when it comes out of your garden. I find radishes from the grocery store to be, they're not as peppery. They don't have as good of a kick that I like. But these Crimson Giants are very tasty, and they make a great pickle. I have to be careful because I have a little row of parsley here that has not sprouted yet, but hopefully they're coming. If not, I might have to buy some starts because I really want parsley this year. Use the rest of this package. So I think for this year, I am going to go I'm going to go pretty sparsely. Because sometimes it just sucks having to come out here and thin. I mean, obviously I will, but if I need to. The cool thing about it is you can actually eat the little radish starts as greens, but I think for this first sowing, we're gonna do, oh, hello, Mr. Worm. That's a good sign. I'm just gonna do this pretty sparse, like a few every inch or so. You might not even have to open the Easter egg ones, but those are really fun. They're like purple, pink, and white. Yeah, this will be great. It'll be really easy to thin if I need to. All right. And I like to pat it down. Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna have to open the Easter egg ones, that's fine. I just wanted to use up this package, and it is a great variety of radish if you're looking for one. Alright, so I got everything that I wanted started or in the ground today, and I'm just going to water everything in and then get the tomatoes and peppers starts inside to get those on a heat mat so that we can have our 2026 summer tomatoes and peppers start to germinate. And yeah, I'm just gonna take the rest of the afternoon and just hang out. My husband will be home later tonight. He's went down to Portland for the day, but he should be back this evening. But I'm just gonna use the rest of this afternoon to update my garden journal with all the varieties that I planted today, take a few notes like soaking sweet pea seeds and stuff like that, and just enjoy the rest of this beautiful afternoon. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports my channel. And if you like gardening content like this, there's so much more to come. The gardening season is just getting started, and I'm super excited at what's to come. Go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss another video from me. I'm hoping to get more consistent, but we will see. But anyways, I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.